Hey guys, Preacher here. God, Guns, and Cycles. Just thinking today that people ask a lot these days of when was America great? And I think that's probably different for everyone. For some, it was probably when Paul Revere said the British are coming. For some, it was probably the day after the Revolutionary War. For some, it was probably the day that World War II ended. For some, it was probably the day that Pearl Harbor was hit. For myself, it was 9/11/2001. And as I was thinking today that Pearl Harbor and learning about it didn't really bother me as a kid. As I learned about the Revolutionary War, it didn't bother me as a kid. As the first Iraqi war happened, it didn't bother me as a kid. But I was in the 9th grade in 2001. My wife was in 7th grade. And I'd been in school for about a month, in high school. And it's a scary time anyways. And you're really not sure what's going on. And as we sat there that morning, wondering why class hadn't started, somebody had told me the World Trade Centers have just been hit by terrorists. And I had no idea what that meant. I said, "What are the World Trade Centers?" And they're like, the World Trade Center, what do you mean? And I said, I don't know what that is. And they said it's a big, huge buildings in New York. They've just been hit by a terrorist. And I said, "What's a terrorist?" I had never heard the word terrorist before. And I'm sure it had came up when the 96 Olympics were talked about, when the Oklahoma City bombing was talked about, and probably other times before on the news, but the word had never stuck with me. What is a terrorist? And as my schoolmates tried to explain to me what a terrorist was, and some of them knew and some of them didn't, I realized that essentially these are just not good people that are causing acts of terror. But I'd never heard those words. And as an American, those words were not important to me until 9/11/2001. I remember being scared that day and calling my mom and making sure she was okay, because she took regular trips to Washington, D.C. And she was okay. She was fine. She told me to calm down. And I said, "Are you coming to get us?" And she said, "No." She said, "You're fine." She was like, "Go back to class. You'll come home from school. Everything's going to be okay." And I did. And I remember the whole day felt very strange. When I got home, on every channel, seemed like there was the World Trade Centers getting hit over and over again. And as we watched it the rest of the night, I was more and more scared. Watching people fall from buildings, I didn't understand what would cause these people to jump out of the buildings. And it was horrific. Seeing people walking out completely covered in all of the stuff from those buildings collapsing. Seeing all this happen was horrific. And the day after 9/11 was the day that I realized that America was great. The day after 9/11, I realized that people loved each other. Americans came together. Every American, no matter what color or religion or places that you came from, or the immigrants that were here, everyone was thankful that day to be an American. Everyone was willing to give up their time and even some their lives to protect what we have as America. The people that hate America outside this country hate us because of our values. They hate us because of our freedom. They hate us that we're allowed to love and to give love and to show love freely, no matter what that means. Love is the reason that we help each other. Love's the reason that you can choose your own religion and what you decide to love. Love is what brings us together. There's not many places on earth that are like America. America as a whole has never truly been great. There's so much hatred and pain and sadness and worry that comes along with daily life. And if you look at the things in the history of every nation throughout history, all of them have those things. But only one of them has all of the freedoms that we share. I knew that I loved America the day after 9/11 because my brother-in-law was willing to sign up to be a Marine. He was graduating high school and went on to be a Marine. And he knew that it was his job at that point, when 9/11 hit, that he knew he was going to war. He was willing to fight and possibly lose his life. He ended up being shot in Baghdad multiple times on top of an Amtrak. He lost his elbow and a large portion of his arm, and they were thankfully able to reconstruct most of it right off the bat. And he went through many months and even years of learning how to use his arm again. He was shot in the back multiple times and luckily had a vest on. I look at the Americans that we have throughout history when we were just colonists, willing to fight for freedom. Not that we were fighting for America or that we were fighting for the United States, because we were only colonies. We were willing for freedom. It's sad to me that we've got people today that were not born during 9/11 to see what had happened during that time. They were born after and have no clue of what happened during those times and how great America was and how great of a love we all shared for each other. I want you to know that I love you all and I appreciate you. I know we have a lot of pain right now, and the only thing that can stop it is love. Love one another. God bless you. Y'all have a good day.